5, James Bird.
You should, bro.
All right, y'all. We give praise, honor, and esteem to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. I'm going to pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. Of another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? Well, hallelujah, for Yahushua and the word. Genesis 17 and 1 is word. When Abram was 99 years old, Yahuwah appeared to Abram and said unto him, I, Almighty Elohim, walk before me and be you perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and you and will multiply you exceedingly. Abram fell on his face. And Elohim talked with him. As for me, behold, my covenant is with you, and you shall be a father of many nations. Neither shall your name anymore be called Abram, but your name shall be called Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made you. Shalom, man. So let's hear, right? We got 3 different things to do. So which one do you want first, boo? You want the bones, you want the bosom, or you want Proverbs 24? Let's come back over here to Genesis chapter 50. All right, so give me Genesis 50, man, and you can pick it up to verse 1.
And Joseph fell upon his father's face and wept upon him and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father, and the physicians embalmed Yasharal.
Hey, give me the word embalm real quick, man. I'm just curious as to what it say and the characters with it, man. Shalom, Brother Craig.
That is kanat, that's to embalm, spice, make spicy.
There we go. That's what I want. He said to make it what?
Spicy.
Make spicy. What you got for making it spicy?
I say ripen.
The ripen?
Yeah, definitely.
Hold on. Hey, little children.
Cotton tech.
If you want to live to see tomorrow, y'all be quiet. So you got make spicy and ripen and balming. So listen, right? You got cotton and tet, right? So what do you have rated by it? Now, why is the spicy important? Why is the spicy relevant, I should say? Well, let's look and see. Come on, Shalom, man. Come on, see, man. Proverbs chapter 7. Proverbs 7 and give me Proverbs 7 and 9. You can go over here to Matthew 26, man.
In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night, and behold, there met him a woman, the attire of a harlot.
Met him a woman with the attire of what?
A harlot.
With the attire of a what?
Harlot.
Now, why is that important? She got on clothes of a whore. Bald-headed, scallywag whore. Go ahead.
And subtle of heart.
She was subtle of heart.
She loud and stubborn.
She what?
Loud and stubborn.
She what?
Loud and stubborn.
Don't you know this man told you that you were stiff-necked from the day that he met you? Go ahead.
Her feet abide not in her house.
See, that's why Paul come back around and say, don't you be no busybody while you worrying about what other people got going on. You know what I'm talking about? As far as now, that's just mutually, I mean, you got men who do it, but that's mutually exclusive to a woman being a busybody. You're growing behind ain't got, I mean, you ain't doing enough work if you got a time to invest energy in what other people are doing. You shouldn't have that much time to even be invested in what other people are doing. I mean, you can't be a virtuous woman. Not according to what's in Proverbs 31. Can't be. Because you know what the one thing that virtuous woman was doing? You know what she was doing, Dora? Clearly, you don't know what she was doing. You waiting. Why you waiting? I asked you, man. Ain't no waiters in here. Ain't nobody finna serve you. It's self-serving. You gotta make your own salad in your own place. So what was that woman doing, fellas? She don't know. You don't know? You ain't gave me no answer, so I have to take it as if you don't know. Nisha said up. Quran said rising up early. But the first answer Quran gave, she was working to benefit her household. Everything that she did was in benefit of her household. You know what I'm talking about? Everything that she did was to benefit her household. Not the next person, not another person, but her household. That was where her complete and utter focus was at. And when somebody is well, you ain't typed that. Oh, you had that before that. I ain't see that. But because when you're dealing with a woman who is busy about it, she can't be building up a house because she's too busy worrying about other people's business. You know what I'm saying? That's why he told the younger women to marry. That's why Paul wrote that for them to get married so they don't be a busybody. Because when you ain't married, a single woman, she got too much time on her hands. You know what I'm talking about? And she can get in a lot of stuff. That's why they told her to get married. So long, Brother Ellis. Come on, man.
Now in the streets and lying wait at every corner.
She lied where?
At every corner.
Come on.
So she caught him and kissed him.
She did what?
Kissed him.
She did what?
She caught him and kissed him.
So that's Judas.
With an impudent face said unto him.
You know what an impudent face is? Tell him what it is, Sim. Joanne, stop yelling at people.
Says that is to be strong, prevail, to make firm, strengthen.
An obstinate individual. Continue.
Peace offerings with me this day have I paid my vows. Therefore came I forth to meet you diligently to seek your face, and I have found you.
To seek your what?
Your face.
And I what?
Found you.
Come on.
I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry.
She decked her bed with what?
Coverings of tapestry.
What else she put on there?
Carved works with fine linen of Egypt. I perfumed my bed with
She did what with her bed?
Perfumed it.
She did what?
Perfumed.
What else she did?
With myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon.
What's myrrh, aloe, and cinnamon? Those are spices. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all like a little myrrh. You like a little myrrh? I like a little myrrh in my fragrance. Ain't no myrrh in that, but you know what I'm saying? Get a little incense, a little amber, and you good to go. You know what I'm talking about? You like a little cinnamon? You like a little cinnamon? You like a little cinnamon? You don't know. I got a few in that got cinnamon in it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got nothing with aloe in it. You can keep that. Aloe don't work in no perfume. Maybe outside, not in the oil. Continue.
Come, let us take our fill of love into the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves.
Paul, now get over here to Matthew 26. It's another king got spiced up too, but I can't remember where it's at. It's escaping me. I know his name, but it's escaping me. You ain't received no payment from me. 20, 26. Oh, I guess they did. You all said get that bread. I mean, I don't guess. I mean, it was. I believe that later on charge me, but that's my personal opinion. As for what you call it. As far as that doggone cleaning fee was concerned, I took my time and cleaned that raggedy heifer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. That was what I couldn't remember. I got it. Come on, Matthew 26 though.
What verse talk?
No, man. Probably about verse 15. Joseph, be quiet.
It say, and said unto them, what will you give me, and I will deliver it unto you. And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver.
That's right.
And from that time he sought the opportunity to betray him.
That's right.
And now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Yahushua, saying, where wilt thou that we will prepare for thee to eat Passover?
Come on.
And he said, go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, my master said, my time is at hand, and I will keep the Passover at your house with my disciples. And the disciples did it. Yahushua had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover.
Come on.
Now when the even was come, he sat down with the and as they did eat, he said, verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceedingly sorrowful. And
back that up to 6. That's what we did. Matthew 20.
It say, now when Yahushua was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came to him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment.
Very precious what?
Ointment.
Come on.
And poured it on his head as he sat.
What else she did?
But when the disciples saw, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor.
Mm-hmm.
And when Yahushua understood, he said unto them, why trouble ye this woman? For she has wrought a good work upon me.
Right.
For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body,
For what purpose?
Did for my burial.
For her what?
For my
what?
burial.
That's the same thing. You seeing in that because we didn't finish that Proverbs 7 all the way out. That's why she will put them spices on the bed. That's right. You got to make it spicy, right? Give me 2 Chronicles 16:7. This gonna go on the Sunday I was talking about the other day, man. You can sit back, you want to give somebody the word, boy. Once you supposed to have enough wisdom to know when you would have determined to kill a nigga. You finna see that right now. Come here, Abby.
It said, at that time Hannah, the seer, came to Asa, king of Judah, and said unto him, because thou hast relied on the king of Syria, and not relied on Yahuwah thy Elohim, therefore is the host of the king of Syria escaped out of thy hand.
Mm-hmm.
Were not the Ethiopians and Libyans a huge host, with very many chariots and horsemen? Yet because you did not rely on Yahuwah, he delivered them unto your hand.
Mm-hmm.
For the eyes of Yahuwah run to and fro throughout the whole earth.
They run where?
To and fro throughout the whole
To
earth.
show himself?
To show himself strong in the behalf
of those whose hearts
is perfect towards him. Herein you have done foolishly.
You have what?
Therefore henceforth you shall have war. Then Asa was wroth with the seer and put him in a prison house.
Put him where?
In a prison house.
Put him where?
In a prison house.
Ain't that what they did to the Lord? He told them something they didn't want to hear. They got angry, put him in the prison house. Come on, they did the same thing to Jeremiah. I was tell you the other day, nigga run their mouth. That wasn't no heathens over there. That wasn't no Gentiles. You should have heard these niggas today going back and forth. Man, I literally heard a nigga last night say that, why does the tree of life give 12 manner of fruits? The 12 is for the 12 tribes of Israel. You just go ahead and just don't pack your bags, man. You just get ready to go to hell, because that's where you go. You ain't going to hell because you said it was the 12 tribes of Israel. You're going to hell because, you know what I'm talking about? Y'all know why it's 12 manner fruits, right? Why is it 12 manner of fruits? No. Why is it 12? Why does it yield 12 manner of fruits? It's very simple. Nothing to overthink. No, because it's 12 months in a year. That's it. Yeah, y'all just try to overthink that and make it.
Just my number, I don't know.
Yeah, say yield 12 manner of fruit. Yeah, definitely ain't 12. But now we went over this. Well, I told y'all this the other day. Like, when you go read about that tree in Ezekiel 47, what fruit it is, that doesn't say for the right of the firstborn. It's not even talking about no actual fruit. Don't get it for him, Sid, man. Ezekiel 47:12, and then look up new fruit when you read the verse. You can get Revelation 21:7 right behind it. It's gonna all be the same since we're talking about bones. Then I get to Proverbs 24, because we pretty much did what we needed to talk about with the bosom. But the bosom is gonna relate to the bones. And by the circumcision. Ezekiel 47:12.
And by the river upon the bank thereof, on this side and on that side, shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaf shall not fade.
Whose leaf shall not what?
Not fail, to be senseless, be foolish.
So this leaf won't be stupid. Remember a long time ago, some of y'all were sitting here and we went over what some of those words meant when you had to go get that stuff to build that booth. And it wasn't necessarily talking about natural things to take to go build that booth. It just told you the leaf that won't fade means that the leaf won't be stupid. Go ahead.
Neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed.
Now look at consume. Let's look at fruit and let's look at consume.
Tamam, to be complete, be finished, be at an end.
So that's what you got for fruit?
That was consumed.
So that means that it said the fruit will be perfect. Because he just said tamim. That's the Hebrew word for perfect. What's the word for fruit?
Yeah, 41.
47:12.
Fruit is pari, that is
That's
fruit,
the actual word for fruit.
produce.
So now it's the produce. So pause. Get to Isaiah 59:20.
And also say offspring, children.
Yeah, I know that for fruit, but that's what I'm saying. The produce is enough. I really want you to focus on the perfect part. The one, well, y'all, I'm glad you said so. Y'all may not know that. I know parade got offspring because it's fruit. You know, fruit of your womb, all that type of stuff. So we didn't talk about that word a lot. That's why I didn't go into detail. But he gave you complete context with that. So look at this Isaiah 59:20.
It say, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and to those who turn from transgression in Jacob, says Yahuwah.
Mm-hmm.
As for me, this is my covenant with them, said Yahuwah. My ruach that is on you, my words which I have put in your mouth,
Won't depart,
will not depart out of your mouth, nor out of the mouth of your seed,
nor out of the mouth of your
seed,
from henceforth,
says Yahuwah, from now and forever.
So if that's his seed, guess what that means they would be? They would be the fruit of the womb. They would be his produce. They would be his offspring. The Ruach HaKodesh and the word of Elohim would be with them. And what did we read when we started off? He said, you, Abraham, walk before me and do what?
Yeah.
He just said the fruit is going to be perfect. I remember, let's take you back to Genesis in the beginning with the tree of life. And guess what? Adam wasn't made to be foolish. He said he made man to be upright. And Adam was made to be perfect. He say man sought out many plans and devices. That's what the book say. Let's go Ezekiel 47:12.
And by the river upon the bank thereof, on this side and on that side, shall grow all whose leaf shall not fade.
Not gonna fade.
Neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed.
So listen, right? The tree won't offspring will be perfect. Continue.
It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months.
Now, new fruit according to his what?
His months.
That's why you know that in Revelation 22, that is 12, that is talking about the month. But listen, the word there is bakar. Give him the definition for bakar with new fruit. And then you can get to Revelation 21:7. You can make a man bump that time. Revelation 21:1, once he tell you what bakar is, by definition.
That is to be born first.
To be born what?
First.
To be born what?
First.
What else?
Give the right of the firstborn.
To give the right of the who?
The firstborn.
The right of the who?
Firstborn.
And what else?
To make his firstborn.
To make his firstborn?
To constitute his firstborn.
To constitute his firstborn.
To bear early, new fruit, to be born a firstling, to mate a firstling. One bearing her first child.
First child. So when you look at bakar, this ain't even necessarily referring to fruit. It says that they will produce firstlings in its month, or those who have a right. Revelation 21:1.
And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and first earth had passed away, and the sea no longer is. And I, John, saw the Kadash city, New Jerusalem,
descended from where?
Coming down out of Shamahim, prepared as a bride adorned for a husband. And I heard a great voice out of Shamahim saying,
what he said?
The tabernacle of Elohim is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they will be his people.
Remember, right, according to the law, right? The tabernacle that Moses got, who did he get it from? And he told him to make it according to the pattern. So what pattern did you think he was drawing it after? It was a pattern of that which is eternal. He was giving you a shadow of that which is eternal on the earth. Because guess what? The mercy seat was literally an image of his throne. It's literally an image of his throne. Did we not read in Isaiah chapter 6 that what he made the mercy seat, that's exactly what Isaiah seen in his vision? Is that throne not exactly the same throne that Ezekiel seen in his in the first chapter of Ezekiel? So he was giving you an image of eternity on earth. Continue. Joanne.
It said they will be his people, and Elohim himself will be their Elohim. And Elohim will wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there will no more be death.
There'll be no more what?
No more death.
And what else?
No mourning, nor crying, nor will there be any more pain, for the first things are passed away.
The first what?
The first things are passed away.
Do me a favor, Sid. Give me 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 6. Remember when we talked about that when we was in Ecclesiastes chapter 1? That nothing of the past will come to mind, won't even be remembered. You won't mention it. Let's go. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 6.
Whereby the world that then was being overflowed
Back
with
it up
water.
before the end, man. Shoot, make it 3. I know what he said. He got in the last times there's gonna be some scoffers. Ain't that what he said?
Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts.
Walking after their own what?
Their own lusts.
That's right.
And saying, where is the promise of his coming?
Where he at?
For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue from the beginning of the creation.
So since Adam died, ain't nothing changed. Continue.
For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of Elohim, the Shamahims were old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water.
Pause. See, this way you take you back to the beginning. Read that again.
For this they willingly are ignorant, that by the word of Elohim.
So guess what, right? When we go to Genesis chapter 1, was it not made by the word? Come on now.
Were old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water.
Out of the water and in the water. That's when you see that there with the firmament, correct? Let's continue.
Whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water.
Overflowed with what?
With water.
Perished. But what did he say about the heavens, though?
But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store.
That's what people not understanding. That first heaven and the heaven and earth that we live under right now was created after one particular word. The new heaven and the new earth that's coming is going to be created by another word. Hold on now. I want you to understand that. He going to speak a word to create a new heaven and a new the same way. Let's just look at it from the beginning. Come over here to Genesis 1 and 1. Let's just do that. Let's just make it plain. Slow, Sister Kelly. No. Genesis 1 and 1, man. Do it like that.
It said, in the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and empty. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Ruach of Elohim moved upon the face of many waters. And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. And Elohim saw the light, and it was good. And Elohim divided between the light and the darkness.
You see how he created the heavens? I mean, the earth out of nothing? From in the waters and under the waters. You see that? Keep going.
He says, and Elohim saw the light that it was good and divided between the light and darkness and called the light day and he called the dark night.
Go ahead.
And evening and morning was the first day.
Keep going.
And Elohim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters and let it divide the waters from the water.
You see where Peter getting this from. This is why we went back and look at it. I know you know it, but for those who don't know it, so you can see that it's coming straight out the law. Come on.
And Elohim made a firmament to divide the waters which were under the firmament and the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so.
It was so.
And Elohim called the firmament Shamahim, and the evening and the morning were the second day.
He called it what?
Shamahim.
He called it what?
Shamahim.
So that's the same heaven and earth that was created by a particular word. Read that again. Hold on. Give me Isaiah 51 and 7. Give me Isaiah 51 and 7.
It said, listen to me, you who know righteousness, the people in whom the...
Okay, back me up before.
It said, listen to me, my people, and give ear to me, O my nation, for a law shall go out from me, and I will make my judgments to rest for a light of the people. My righteousness is near, my salvation has gone out, and my arm shall judge peoples. The coastlands shall wait on me, and on my arm they shall trust.
Okay.
Lift up your eyes to Shamahim.
Oh, there we go. Lift up your eyes where?
To Shamahim.
Lift them up where?
To Shamahim.
Fine.
And look on the earth beneath.
Look at the earth beneath.
For Shamahim shall vanish away like smoke.
Like what?
Like smoke.
Like what?
Like smoke.
And the earth
shall become old like a garment.
And everything that dwell in it
shall die. In the same way. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be broken.
Now listen to that, right? Now come on back to Civic where you was at in 2 Peter chapter 3. And what are we holding? Revelation 21, Genesis chapter 50. What you want? No, that's what we hold. Civic is in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 6.
Whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store.
Kept in where?
Kept in store.
Kept in where?
In store.
Come on.
Reserved unto fire against the day of judgment.
Reserved under what?
Reserved unto fire against the day of judgment.
Y'all know what Isaiah 66 and 15 say, don't you? Say, by fire and this sword, Yahuwah plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahuwah shall be many. Continue.
And perdition of ungodly men.
So this is for the destruction of unfaithful men. The same way that he flooded the earth. See, this is what people don't understand, the difference between when he destroyed the whole earth the first time and the second. This is what Peter is explaining. He destroyed the whole, every man under heaven, but he didn't destroy the heavens and the earth. That same heaven and earth during the time of Noah when he flooded it out is the same heaven and earth to this day. But the heaven and earth that you'll get Elohim's kingdom, oh, that's going to be by a new word. That's going to be by a new word. The same way, that's what I mean by people don't overlook stuff. You know what I'm talking about? You're not really focusing. You're not really paying attention. Because you should already know. As soon as he said that, okay, he spoke the heavens and earth the first time by a word. He making a new heaven and new earth by another word. He's going to tell you what's going to be under this new heaven and new earth. Keep going.
But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing.
Don't be ignorant.
That one day with Yahuwah as 1,000 years and 1,000-year day.
So that's why he's telling you that Hamashiach kingdom is going to be for a day.
Yahuwah is not slack.
He ain't slack.
As some men count slackness.
That's right.
But his long suffering to us were not willing that any should perish.
He don't want nobody to die.
But that all should come to repentance.
That everybody should come.
But the day of Yahuwah will come as a thief in the night.
It's going to come as what?
A thief in the night.
What's going to happen when it happens?
And the which Shamahim shall pass away with a great noise.
With a what?
A great noise.
What else?
And the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
With fervent what?
Heat.
Why is the elements going to melt with fervent heat? Because your Elohim is a consuming fire. That's what your law says. So we're supposed to know that. Continue.
The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
That's why he said, and everything going to perish in like fashion. That's why Paul said, and when he was talking about the Corinthians, if you be on fire and if be something remain, then you'll be saved. Because he burning up all the ungodly works. He burning it up. Because he going to make everything new. This is what people don't understand. I told you this before, right? Y'all remember this here? When Mashiach come back, what is he recreating?
What it was at the beginning.
He's recreating creation.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I told y'all when you look at it, man get made on what day? The 6th, which is when he come back. And then you got one day, and then it goes into the 7th, and now you be at rest and you dwell with the Father. So when he come back, what he say? He gonna make everything new. He gonna make the earth form without form and void. He gonna make the Shamahim go dark. He gonna make the elements fall.
And destroy the firmament again.
He gonna do all of that. He's gonna recreate creation. Why? Because he's going to make a new one with a new word that's not gonna be like the old, and the old will never be remembered. It'll never be mentioned. It'll never be spoken about. That takes us back when we were talking about that in Ecclesiastes 1. So when you see New Jerusalem coming down from Shamahim, you know why it's coming down from Shamahim, because it's made with a new word that the previous one was not created by. Follow me. Y'all understand that? Does that make sense? That's why I want you to pay attention to the bones. Because not only is he taking the bones out of captivity, as far as literal captivity, he's taking the bones out of the captivity of this present world to bring it into a place of rest. You understand what I'm talking about? Because Joseph's bones is symbolic of the body. And we're going to read that. Come on.
But the day of Yahuwah will come as a thief in the night, and the which Shamahim shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Then all these things shall be dissolved. What manner ought you to be in all conversation and
what
godliness?
Manner of person you ought to be in all manner of conduct and godliness and faithfulness. If you know that's what's going to happen, why is your conduct not reflective of that? Continue.
Looking forward and hasting unto the coming of the day of Allah.
Because you know what Amos said, what profit is the day of Yahuwah to you? It's like a day a man ran from a lion and got bit by a bear. Put his hand on the wall and got bit by a serpent. It's a day of darkness and gloominess. If you light, what you looking for darkness for? Because you're evil as hell. That's why you're looking for it. I done told y'all plenty of time before. If you believe the word, then you already know your enemy's going to get taxed. So you rest comfortably. You ain't looking for that. You looking for Yahuwah. What that man told you in Luke 18. I'll avenge you speedily. So that's nothing. You can go to sleep every night. Not all this stuff they arguing. I heard the man talking about, yeah, man, y'all around here talking on the Jews. Y'all speaking the curse because he the one. Man, I ain't going for that. You know, some people believe them Jewish people really the people. And we not. See, I'm not getting. If you want to believe niggas who worship Satan booty hole and put their mouth on little boys' wee-wees talking about circumcision, if you want to believe they the people, that's fine. I'm not you about it, but I'll tell you this here. If you get enough of them in the room and you press them, they'll tell you that they're not. You know what I'm talking about? But see, that's the problem. Everybody want to argue about who the people, but don't nobody want to be born of the word so you can be a God. That's the problem. You know what I'm talking about? You want to argue about who the children of Israel, who are the children of God. Because you ain't a child of God because you're an Israelite. You alive from hell if you walk around telling people that. Well, you got to be born of the word, you lying bastard. We just read it. He talking about his fruit. He said his fruit in Ezekiel 47, they perfect. You ain't perfect because you an Israelite, boy. Because he said it's not the flesh that's counted for the seed, but those are the promise. You got to be born of the word, like Isaac was. Come on now.
Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heaven and
we
a
look
new
for
earth.
a what?
New Shamaim and a new earth.
So you know why you look? He said according to his what? That means according to his word. That's what you looking for. You looking for him to do something new with his word. Hold on, man. Do me a favor. Give me Hebrews 11, man. Give me Hebrews 11 and 13. Because a good sister asked this here, right? It was like, what you think about moving somewhere yesterday? I say, man, shoot, I ain't moving nowhere. No, because you know, some people want to move out of the country. And I don't knock nobody. Everybody ain't moving because they just want to be like, oh, it's wicked, let me get over here. Some people literally just want to stay somewhere else. Some people like, hey, man, I hate it here. Just on general principle. I'm not trying to scare nobody with the word. I'm thinking about moving here. What you think about that? There ain't nothing wrong with that. Because, you know, some people will be like, yeah, we all need to move. And then some people ridicule people for moving. And man, if somebody want to move to Mexico, Tanzania, Iceland, whatever the case may be, that's their business. But y'all know how I see it. I'm a stranger and a pilgrim on the earth. So it don't matter where I stay. I still ain't home. So it don't make me damn bit of difference. I'm going to go where Yahuwah say go. But as you talking about just moving somewhere just to move there, for what? I'm still a stranger and a pilgrim. That's not my home. Guess what? My God still ain't there. Hebrews 11:12, man. Run it for me.
I'm here. It said, therefore sprang there even of one, and I am him as good as dead. So many as the stars of the sky, and a multitude as the sand which is by the seashore, innumerable.
That's right.
These all died in faith.
They all died in what?
In faith.
They died in what?
In faith.
Not doing what?
Not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them and embraced them and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth.
Now, we dealt with this passage before, what that means. See, a lot of brothers and sisters out here, they haven't embraced these promises. They ain't been persuaded by these promises. So therefore, that's why they don't endure. Read that verse again so the people can hear it again.
It say these all died in faith.
Died in what?
In faith.
But they didn't receive the promise though.
Haven't seen them afar off.
But I saw it, but I ain't get it.
But they were persuaded and embraced.
Remember what we talked about last night? How did they see it? Because faith comes by hearing and hearing comes by the word. Open my eyes that I might behold wondrous things out of your law. See what I'm talking about? And once I heard, I saw. That's what Job said, didn't it? See, people ain't seeing because you ain't heard. And you ain't heard because you don't believe. And if you ain't heard, you also might not have a preacher. So ain't nowhere in the world you're going to be able to believe. Because like I told you last night, man, it is what it is. A lot of people just don't want to deal with the fact that you're going to have to get the word from a man. See, we know this because of the law. We know that when they were getting the word from God himself, they say, man, let Moses talk to us. So this ain't something, and I'm telling you this here, not because so you can look at like men put themselves up on the pedestal, oh, you got to get it from me. That's what your forefathers asked for. Because they could have got it from God directly, could they have not? But they said, no, we want to hear from Moses. Let Elohim talk to us and we what?
Yeah.
So that's what they asked for. They spoke and he gave it to them. That's right. That's right. He gave them what they wanted. They didn't want to deal with him directly. You know what I'm talking about? And that just is what it is. But I know why people like that. You done got done bad by bad preachers. You got niggas who on the internet with scriptures after dark. You know what I'm talking about? Trying to make your legs and your money part. You know what I'm talking about? So now you're upset and you ain't. You know what I'm talking about? But is it a lie though? Because that's what's happening out here, so that makes people weary. You know what I'm talking about? Like, shoot, I'd rather just, and then you got people who don't know what they're talking about. So then you feel like, hey, man, I'd rather just stay at home and have my own Bible study. And that's fine, because you should always go through the word any given time. but you can't teach yourself. Who has never done that? Did you name any man in the word who was self-taught? Well, he'll open up the understanding. How's your understanding going to be open unless you heard the word from somebody? You just didn't pop the book open one day and just be like, he just start giving you understanding. He don't do that. Who the first man got the word? Adam. Who gave it to him? Yahuwah gave it to him. And then what did Adam begin to do after that? He began to teach his offspring. Who taught their offspring? And then what did Yahuwah also create? A priesthood. After who? The order of Melchizedek. How is Melchizedek the priest of the Most High Elohim, but he wasn't teaching nobody to work? You got to be a special type of stupid to think this man had a priesthood and he wasn't teaching nobody. What's the purpose of a priesthood that don't teach? That's not common sense. You're not thinking. But I know why you're not thinking. It's not your fault. It's the fault of these dumb dogs that came forward. That's right. And Quran just mentioned what y'all already know. Apostles are the only men who don't need to teach and believe in them. They're not self-taught. Who is teaching them? And guess what? That means they held to an even higher standard. Because that means they're getting information directly from God. So that means that's something different. And guess what the difference is between that? Remember what Paul said? Paul said, hey, man, he found me worthy to be in the ministry who was a blaspheming and injurious as a pattern of the mercy and grace that Yahuwah would show later. Because remember, we know as far as the law was concerned, Paul was what? Taught by a man. But when it came as forth as the gospel, he said, nah, ain't no man taught me that. That's why I was telling y'all that last night. That 613 don't mean you receive no truth. I'm telling you that right now. See, that's nigga talk. When nigga tell you you don't receive the truth because you know you an Israelite and they done taught you the law, that's nigga talk. That ain't godly talk, because that's not the truth. The law is faithful in that if you abide by it, you won't die. It's also faithful that the minute you break it, you got to die. So you know what I'm talking about? So it's faithful in that regard, but it's not representative of the faithfulness of Yahuwah. How do we know that? Because when he approached Abraham, he didn't approach him with a law. He approached him with a promise. He approached him with a word. He didn't approach him with no law. He said, here's my law, brother. He said, depart from amongst your kindred and go to the place that I send you, and I'll make you a great and mighty nation. That's what he told him. He said, don't worry about that. Your heir going to come from your bowels. And it said, Abraham believed Yahuwah, and he counted it to him for righteousness. That's what it say. He ain't had him no law. But see, Bruce don't want to hear that because you too bad. You too busy being angry at Christianity. We ain't angry at Christianity. They ain't did nothing to us. You know what I'm talking about? They ain't did nothing to us. You wanted to believe them lies anyway. You know what I'm talking about? So just let that be what it be. Quran said again, we must test them by the word to know that they're true, so we could get it through, go through it diligently ourselves. That's right. And that's the thing too, right? This is something you gotta understand, right? I told y'all this before. You can test the preacher. Test by definition in Hebrew means to try, to prove out. Because did he say you tried them that were apostles and found them to be liars? Ain't that what it said? You can do that, but you got to do it with respect. It's a respectful way that you can make sure a person got the word. Y'all ain't never supposed to mindly just say, oh, he got it, so I'm listening to him. Because even Yahusha let them people test him to see if he had the word. Them people, he ain't never had no problem with it either. Remember when he said, how could a man who ain't never learned write letters? Did he say, what you mean? Don't try me, nigga. He said, oh, you test me? That's fine. What he told him. He said, he that seeketh his own, he that speak of himself, seek his own esteem. He that seek the esteem of him that son, the same is true. And there's no judge not according to appearance, but judge what? So that's how he you tested me, I passed your test. He didn't get offended to be like, why you trying me like that? Because man, for what? For what? That's what you supposed to do. They tried Yahusha on many corners. He ain't never fold. He ain't never get angry. You know what I'm saying? When you see somebody who got the word and they get angry because you trying to prove if they're God, that's what you know. They not. Because Moses didn't get upset.
That's supposed to be with the word. Nigga try you and you come and push. You showing them skip out.
Period. You know what I'm talking about? So that you can believe. The objective is for you to believe.
Show me. Show me.
Whose son? Yeah, they tried him then. And he said, okay, boom. He said, you asked me this? He said, if he called him Lord, how was he David's son? They like, they said, nigga. That's how they did you, nigga. They like, boy, he'll go ahead. Boy, I ain't asking him no more questions. You know what I'm talking about? Because that's how you triumph. The triumph was asking questions. See, the trying ain't like, nigga, you ain't got no word. There's something wrong with you. The trying is asking questions. It's not a big deal for you to ask questions. Because if Yahushua himself ain't had no problem with them asking him questions, and hold on, and he knew that they were asking him questions to catch him up in his speech so they could accuse him. You just asking questions just so you can know, does this nigga even know what he's talking about? Can he help me? And if a nigga get mad, asking all these questions, he ain't got it.
Yeah, the nigga get mad, you ask him a lot of questions. I mean,
He ain't got it.
Especially when I'm trying to make it seem like you don't believe because you asking questions.
Yeah, no, yeah, don't go for the nigga who's like, oh, so you ain't trusting in God because you asked. Don't go for that.
I heard that.
Don't do that. Don't fall for that. It's only one time you see Yahushua going off on somebody who asking questions, and y'all know who that was. That was the apostle, and he wasn't going off on them for asking questions. He was going off on them because it's stuff that I done taught you, and y'all should have already knew this. Right. But I'm gonna still tell you the answer. But I expect more out of you than I expect out of them. So that's why I'm kind of agitated. See, I done told y'all this over the years. A lot of people are not accustomed to that. You ain't accustomed to somebody who look at you and expect more from you than you expect from yourself. So when they chastise you because you're not operating at the level that they know that you can operate, you think they're being mean to you. You think they're being this. You don't even know. They expect something from you. Not expectation like people had, like, I expect them to do this and they didn't do it, I'm upset. You've been sitting here, you've been walking with me, I've been teaching you. I expect greatness from you, and I will not accept anything less. You know what I'm saying? Most of us ain't raised like that, so that's a foreign concept. And I ain't talking about expecting greatness from you and then belittling you because you didn't achieve it. I'm on your head because you're not applying yourself to the maximum of your abilities. You're not paying attention. You're not focused. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'm gonna tell you about yourself, but that's what a father do with his offspring. Most of us ain't been raised by a father. You might have had a daddy, but you ain't have a father, and there's a difference. You know what I'm talking about? Because your daddy just there. He'll love you. He'll teach you how to ride a bike and throw a football and maybe even fix a car too. But your father gonna instruct you and demand greatness for you to prepare you for life after he gone. And there's a difference. Because what was Mashiach getting them apostles ready for when he was gone? Because you're going to have to endure some things when I leave here. I need your own home. You know what I'm talking about? Come on with it, man.
Pimping in Hebrews, bro.
Yeah, keep on in Hebrews 11. You still in second Peter 2? Peter 3. Come on, man. Hebrews 11.
It says, these all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off.
That's right.
And were persuaded of them and embraced them and confessed that they were strangers.
And they confessed that they were what?
Strangers.
And what else?
Pilgrims on the earth.
On the what?
On the earth.
And those that confess such things
declare plainly.
They declare what?
Plainly.
They declare what?
That they seek a country.
That they seek a who?
A country.
A what type of country?
My bad. It said, truly, if they had been mindful of that country from which they came, they might have an opportunity to return.
Come on.
Now they desire a better country.
Now see this here? You see they desire what? He said they'd have been mindful of the Jerusalem they left from, but now they seek one that's better. Come on.
That's heavenly.
That's what?
Heavenly.
That's what?
Heavenly.
I mean, it's eternal. So where's got to come from?
Elohim.
Come on.
Wherefore Elohim is not ashamed to be called the Elohim.
So in this place, he will not be ashamed to be called your Elohim and whatever.
And for he hath prepared them a city.
Prepare for them a who?
A city.
A what?
A city.
Come on. Praise God. All those who confess they strangers and pilgrims on the earth, you declare that this man done prepared for you a city. Go ahead, finish.
I lost my spot. All right. 17. It say, by faith, Abraham, when he was tried.
Okay, I'm good. I don't need that. Come on, finish that last verse in. You in what verse you in, Sid? 2 Peter chapter 3, what you in, about verse 13?
14.
Come on, read 13 one more time.
Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new Shamahim and a new earth wherein dwell righteousness.
What dwell that?
Righteousness.
Come on.
Wherefore, beloved, seeing that you look for such things, be diligent that you may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless.
See that? He said, if you're looking for such a thing, make sure you're perfect. Ain't that what it said that fruit was in Ezekiel 47? Come on, come back to Ezekiel 47:12, man. Let me finish that out. Go back to Revelation 21. We still holding Genesis 50. We ain't holding nothing else besides that, I don't believe. I'll lay you who will be esteemed.
Read 12 again.
Yeah, that's all we're reading.
And by the river upon the bank thereof, on this side and on that side, shall grow all trees for meat, whose leaf shall not fade.
Notice that the leaf will not be foolish. No dummies, no fools, no sinners, no none of that. Come on.
Neither shall the fruit thereof be consumed.
It won't be what?
Consumed.
That means the fruit thereof will be perfect. Because consumed there is tamaim, and that's the word for perfect. Go ahead.
It shall bring forth new fruit according to his months, because their waters they.
So this tree is going to bring forth the firstborn. Remember how Paul said we the first fruits of them that slept? Remember what Revelation 20:5 say? Blessed are those who have part of the first resurrection, upon whom the second death shall have no power. Come on, man.
Because their waters they issued out of the sanctuary, right. And the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof for medicine.
That's good. Come on back to Revelation 21:3. Yes, sir. Hey, Muffinia.
It said, and I heard again a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of Elohim is with men, and he will dwell with them. And they shall be his people, and Elohim himself shall be with them and be their Elohim. And Elohim shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death.
There'll be no more what?
Death.
No more what?
No death.
Now notice right under the old heaven and old earth, guess what was death? Yeah. Guess what's going to be under the new heaven and new earth? No death. All because he spoke a word. Come with it, man.
No sorrow, no crying.
No what?
No sorrow, no crying.
That's right.
Neither shall there be any more pain.
No more what?
Pain. For the former things are passed away.
Now go back to that Ecclesiastes 1, right? The former things are passed away. And if it's passed away, it's not. Let me tell you something, man. What he told you when he said he make that cloud to blot out your transgressions, and they won't be what?
Remember.
They won't be remembered. When Yahuwah makes something pass away, it's not remembered. It ain't spoken of. It's not coming to mind. It's over with. Let me tell you something, man. We've dealt with this, so I'm not going into great detail in that Ecclesiastes 1, starting at about verse 5, about verse 9 or 10. We went through that, right? And by the grace of Elohim, we made that claim, right? So let me tell you something, man. You're not going to remember the old heaven. You're not going to remember the old earth. You're not going to remember old Jerusalem. You're not going to remember the Ark of the Covenant. You're not going to remember nothing. Everything that happened under the old heaven and old earth will not be remembered, will not be mentioned, will not be spoken. It is over with. He about to tell you. And he say, behold, I make all things new. Listen to him now. Well, you looking like a nigga daddy coming to the basketball game. Look at my boy. Man, I remember one year, man, we was in high school, man. We went to the game, man, and my homeboy Royce was on the bench. They embarrassed that man because all them niggas went to screaming, "We want Royce."
The boy Royce?
Absolutely not. This nigga ain't get no run. That's my nigga. And guess what? I participated too. Let's go ahead and embarrass him all the way out. They put him in too. It was late in the game. It was a blowout. You know what I'm saying? You know how when there be a nigga on that they go to cheer for him to get it. I'd have been embarrassed. I wouldn't have checked in.
That's your time, boy. You supposed to check in at least drop one. You got at least drop one.
I'll take this as disrespect. I'll call it for me. You know this nigga.
It's a short roster. If you on the team, what you got?
Hey, it's a lot of players on the roster. At least they collecting checks. They ain't seeing no PT. They always got a DNP coach's decision.
Absolutely. Fully dressed.
Fully dressed. He knew when he was driving to the arena, when he got to the arena, his boy got fresh to get to the arena to put on his warm-ups. Now, what your shoes tied for? They get shit. That's what I'm talking about. High school. All them jits supposed to.
Yeah, get you ready. That's what I was thinking about.
It ain't to get you ready. It's a nigga they just there. They just holding the spot because you gotta have 12 people. And you just happen to be number 12. I don't want to be number 12.
Y'all came to see him.
Yeah.
We ain't come to see him. It was other of our homeboys on the team that got run. He was just one of them. I'm a dog now. Grown now. But... Go ahead.
Yeah,
Revelation 21:3.
yeah, boy.
Let's run it again.
It say, and they shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain.
No more pain.
For the former things are passed away.
It's gone.
And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new.
You make all things what?
All things new.
I thought he made it old.
All things new.
I guess he kept it the same.
All things new.
Let Yahuwah be esteemed.
And he said unto me, Write, for these words
are what?
True and faithful.
So you can bank that. Come on.
And he said unto them, It is done.
It's what?
It is done.
It's what?
It is done.
What's done?
I am the olive and the top.
The beginning
and the end. And I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the waters of life freely.
That's the fountains you just read in Ezekiel 47:12, issuing out of the sanctuary. Come on.
He that overcomes shall inherit all things.
He that overcome will do what?
Inherit all things.
And he shall be?
And I will be his Elohim.
And he shall be my what?
My son.
You see how that go to Ezekiel 47:12? You can't even inherit all things till Ezekiel 47. You can't inherit all things till new heaven and new earth come. All right.
I don't know that.
Listen, right? When Mashiach kingdom come, you still ain't inherited all. He said inherit all things. You've inherited something, but you ain't inherited everything. Oh, y'all forgot about that. What we got to go back to? That's just talking about from the embalming now. Go back. We ain't finished 2 Chronicles 16. Man, give me 2 Chronicles 16:9 again on general principle. Michael, you all right?
9.
Yeah, verse 9.
It say, for the eyes of Yahuwah run to and fro throughout the whole earth.
Show himself
strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect.
Notice he said, whose heart is what?
Perfect.
His heart is what?
Perfect.
Not his heart that keep the law, but his heart is what?
Perfect.
That means his inward man is perfect towards the man. That means it's innocent. You know what make a man perfect in the heart towards Elohim? A heart of faith. A word that believes, because the just live by their faith. Go ahead.
It says herein, thou hast done foolishly.
You shall have what?
Therefore you shall have wars.
Wars.
Then also was wroth with the seer, and put him in a prison house.
Put him in the prison.
For he was enraged with him because of this.
Go ahead.
And also oppressed of the people at the same time.
Go ahead.
And behold, the acts of Asa, first and last, lo, are written in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel.
Go ahead.
And Asa in the 39th year of his reign was diseased in his feet.
He was diseased where?
In his feet.
Go ahead.
Until his disease was exceedingly great.
Come on.
Yet in his disease he sought not Yahuwah, but the physician.
Go ahead.
And Asa slept with his fathers and died in the 41st year of his reign. And they buried him in his own sepulchre, which he had made him for himself in the city of David, and laid him in a bed which was filled with sweet odors of diverse kinds, and of spices prepared with Hippocrates' art.
Notice that they said they laid him in a bed
with diverse kind of spices.
Ain't that what she said she had in that bed in Proverbs 7? Ain't that what we just seen in Genesis 50? With put him somewhere where it was spicy. You know what I'm saying? You don't. All them spices is just representative of what you just seen, giving a sweet smelling savor, which is an aroma of a sacrifice that is acceptable because you made yourself a living sacrifice, which is your what? Reasonable service. Come on, I got Genesis 50:2 on deck. I'll start at verse 1 one more time. Joseph fell upon his father's face and wept on him and kissed him. Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father. The physicians embalmed Yasharal. 40 days were fulfilled for him, for so are fulfilled the days of those who are embalmed. And the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days. And when the days of his mourning were past, Joseph spake unto the house of Pharaoh, saying, If now I found mercy in God, speak, I pray you, in the ears of Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, Lo, I die. In my grave which I have digged for me in the land of Canaan, there shall you bury me. That's why one of the reasons why you think that Jerusalem had to be rebuilt in order for Mashiach to come. Because not only did Jacob say, make sure I'm buried in the land, Joseph said, don't leave me here and bring me back and bury me in the land. Because why? To be in the place that Elohim has swore unto me. That's what the biggest place is to be. Because you know what it said in Psalms 139, to remember what? Jerusalem. Let your mind be on. You forgot about that? You forgot about that, mama? You look like you don't know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to hit you with the bottle. Give me Psalm 139. Start at verse 1.
Oh Yahuwah, you have searched me and known.
That ain't it. I'm in the wrong place. Maybe it's 130. It's 137. I forgot I had this one.
Start at verse 1.
Yeah.
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept when we remembered Zion.
When you remember what?
Zion.
Come on.
We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song.
Required of us a what?
A song.
Come on.
They that wasted us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion.
Sing us a song of Zion.
How shall we sing Yahuwah's song in a strange land?
In a strange what?
In a strange land.
Come on.
If I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget. If I do not remember you, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth.
Let my tongue cleave. Now he said, let my right hand forget my cunning. Give him cunning by definition, because it don't mean what you think it does.
I don't have it in here.
Yeah, that ain't no.
That's my point.
They just say, let my right.
That's my point.
Right.
So let me forget God then. If I forget Jerusalem, who the right hand of Yahuwah?
That's right. That's right.
If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Remember, O Yahuwah, the children of Edom and the day of Jerusalem, who said,
that's good. He said you ought to remember. Remember what we just read in Hebrews 11? You desire a city whose maker and builder is Elohim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't this man tell you in Hebrews 8 that he made the sanctuary not made with what? How we expect New Jerusalem? What you think it's going to be? It can't be a city made with man's hands. Because if it's made with man's hands, guess what that means? It ain't. It ain't eternal.
All right.
It has to come down from Shamahim. It has to be the maker and builder. It got to be Elohim in order for it to be eternal. I don't even think, like I said, I have mentioned that to the brothers when we were talking about it too. Give me Isaiah 64 and 4. No, but I mean, it was a good conversation just to have, because you got people who look at a lot of stuff like, hey man, he's just giving certain imagery, but is it literal or not? But as I mentioned when we were having the conversation, man, sometimes you can't put in your mind, which we about to read, who is going to do. So it's hard to fathom a city coming out of heaven, because your natural mind can't wrap that in your mind where you can visualize that can actually occur. The text of giving apocalyptic allegories, you know what I'm saying, that ain't literal, because we know we're not going to see a literal woman pregnant in the sky. We know we're not going to see a beast literally with 7 heads and 10 horns in the sky. You know what I'm talking about? It was representative of something. So when you look at that, you know what I'm saying? You have to see this. What I'm trying to point out to you is you can't just always look at people like, man, this nigga dumb as hell. You have to listen to where somebody coming from and then understand how they could get to that conclusion to where they would have that question. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's going to literally come out of the sky or not. You know what I'm saying? Is this literal? But is this not literal? I don't know. You can't go into every interaction with every person thinking that they know. And some people are telling you openly, I'm not sure. I haven't arrived to a conclusion. And that's fine. Oh, you got just give it a second. Sean ahead of himself. Come on, man.
Isaiah
64 and 4.
Okay, I ain't have it first. But I'm here.
Go ahead.
It's saying, from forever they have not heard, nor did they listen. Eyes have not seen.
Eyes have not seen.
Elohim except you.
Hold on, Elohim except who?
Except you.
Except who?
Except you.
That he have to. I have not seen nor ear have heard what Elohim has prepared for those who love him. Your eyes ain't seen and your heart cannot conceive what this man's kingdom is going to look like and how it's going to be brought to pass. You can't visualize it. We didn't talk about that before. You cannot visualize streets made out of pure gold that look like transparent glass. I don't care how much you think about it, you can't put that together. I don't care how much you think you want to. I wonder what God looked like. You can't put that together in your mind. You can't. You can't put the dates together. You can't put. All you're gonna come up with is something that your finite mind can come up with. But you can't put it together. So that's why I know that it's not outside the realms of reality. Why brothers can't fathom that this city gonna come down. See, for me, it's different because I know that the city has to be eternal because everything in it is going to be eternal. So he has to make it. It's the same token. How do I know this? Because he told you that he made the sun. He said he destroyed the tabernacles. You know what I'm talking about? See, it go back to that same point. Adam wasn't made with hands, was he? He was his maker and builder was who? Elohim. So it's the nuance in the text that when you pause and you pay attention and you look at this and you look at that, and then you see, oh yeah, I can't tell you what it looked like, but I know he gonna do it. He gonna do it based off that. Now I will say, my man say now, don't get it twisted. He wasn't saying that Yahuwah couldn't do it. You know what I'm talking about? He just was saying, I don't know if this is literal or not. Because he's held, we done had this conversation, me and him have had this conversation multiple times over the course of 10 years. You know what I'm talking about? And I've always held the stance. Oh, that's literal right there, bro. He said it's coming down out the sky. Guess where that's coming down from? Out the sky. I ain't got no doubt about that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't view the word